Audio Jungle.
Understand what is Python, right? So I say first thing is everything is object in the Python. So whatever I'm typing here right now, Python is responsive. So you can see like Python is interpreted, it is interactive, object-oriented language. Okay. Now let us understand what is object. Now when you say object, object is an instance of a class, right? So now when I say X is an object, it means that X belongs to certain class, right? So now if I want to find out what is the type of class it belongs, I can find out in multiple ways, right? So you can see one of the ways I just mentioned the type of X, and Python has responded that this is of string.
Okay.
Okay. Now here, if I want to know which is the class behind it, how to find out? Simply say help and X. Okay. Say help and yeah. Now it is going to be the STR class. So you can see STR class, right? And under this STR, you have several methods.
Okay.
So this is the way the class is designed behind. Okay. So now whatever I said here, that everything is object in the Python. Now I just told X is a hello and X is object here. Now if I change the value here, X to some value, let's say 10.
Okay.
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 So what is this X now? Any idea what is X right now?
No.
Okay. So X is here integer. Okay.
Sorry,
Now
the
here
axis?
if you just say type of, now X is an integer because when I say 10, okay, what happened as I have given the value 10, obviously the response it has to be integer.
Okay.
So that Python understood, I have not defined that int x here because in the programming language, if you go for C++ or Java, you say this is integer, this is float, this is string and all.
Yeah.
But Python, it is not like that. Python understanding, Python has an assumption. So that's the reason I say you need to have some programming language background here.
Okay.
Because Python is a high level language. It is not the low level language.
Okay.
Okay. And here everything is dynamic. So whatever you see here is a dynamic here. So now what is dynamic here? So you have a dynamic typing here. Okay. So what is dynamic typing? So before that you need to know what is static typing. Right? So in the programming language like C++, Java, you need to define data type, which is like integer, float, string, boolean, all these things. But in the Python, when I say x equal to some value, by value Python understand that this is of this type. This is integer type, this is a float type, this is a string type. So now, for example, if I say x equal to 8.0, and if I ask the Python, what should be the response now? You can ask it directly.
Okay.
And the response is, it is float type.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So now you can see like how Python is understanding the data type dynamically here.
Okay.
Here I have not allocated any memory, but still Python understanding that okay, this is a integer, this is a string, this is a float, and so on and so thing. Right? So this is what Python. So what is Python? If you want to understand, you can understand it practically. It's a practical actually. It's not at a theoretical language. And in this session, I'll try to explain the theory and practical parallelly here. So the first thing is what is Python? With this example, you must understand that Python is a object-oriented, interpreted, interactive, and is a scripting language now. So what is the benefit of scripting language over the programming language? So you need to have some, like if you know like so what is programming language? So programming language is nothing but the set instruction, right? Program is nothing but a set of instruction. So we do programming like C++ programming, Java programming, C language programming, right? Whereas when it's a scripting language, every command itself is a program here. Okay. Now I'll give an example here. If I ask you to write a program, okay, for the just copying the file from source to destination. So it is going to be almost 8 to 10 lines of code. Whereas in the scripting language, if it is a shell script here, it will be a single line. That is CP, copy file, and the source file and the destination here. Right? So here, this is a scripting language. When you say shell script, it is a script language. Okay, when you say interpreted means here we are having the line by line execution. Right? So if I say print, I can have a single line execution also. Now you can see the immediate output here, right? But when you say compiler language, even for the hello world, you need to write at least 5 to 6 lines of code, whether it is a Java, whether it is a C++ or any language you say, right? So this is the difference you will see between the interpreted and programming language. Now let us understand what is class here. When it's
Okay.
object, what is object? Is an instance of a class, right?
Yeah.
Right. And what is class now? Class is a blueprint, right? We say this is a class. So like we say car is a class or animal is a class, right? So when you say animal is a class, we have certain features of the animal there. Okay. Whereas when you say horse, what is horse here? Is object of the class type animal here,
Okay.
right?
Uh,
So that is the way the difference between the object and the class here. Class is like a category. We have animal is a class, and under the animal class, we have a we have some features of the animals. And when you say horse, horse is of the type animal here. So horse is an instance of a animal class now. That is the way you can understand the difference between the object and the class here. Now here, when I say x equal to 10, now x is a object of the class integer type. Okay, when you say x equal to hello, here x is object of string type here. Now if I say x equal to 8.0, then x is what? Of the object of what type?
integer.
No, 8.0, 8.0.
Float.
You can see in the screen.
Float. Float type.
Float type,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. So this is the way the relation between the object and class is there now,
Okay.
right? Now if I say x equal to true here, right?
Uh,
And if I ask the Python, what is this? What do you think? It is a Boolean type.
okay.
So this is the way the Python understand that this is a Boolean, this is float, this is string, and all. So these are all data types in the Python.
Okay.
So what we're trying to understand here, the basic thing that this is integer, this is float, this is string, and all this. So the Python is a dynamic typing, right? Now,
Oh,
why to learn the Python? What is the main reason behind of learning the Python now? Why the industry people are, they are learning the Python? What is the main reason behind it? I'll say the main reason here is reducing the lines of code,
okay.
improving the productivity. Okay, you want to improve the productivity in our industry. Now, somewhere in the Java C++, you write, let's say, 10,000 lines of code. Same thing we can do in Python in 1,000 lines.
Okay.
Now, you can imagine the difference here. Now, here in the Java, you write in the 10,000 lines. C++, you write 10,000 lines of code. So, obviously, the time required to write that many lines of code for a particular software is going to be it will be, let's say, 3 months or 4 months, right?
Mm,
Which can be finished within a 15 days or 1 month time,
okay.
right? So this is
Yeah.
the way Python improves the productivity now.
Okay.
Okay, I hope
Okay.
you are getting what I'm trying to say. Why
Yeah.
Python?
Yeah, I'm getting it.
What is Python we saw? What is Python we saw? Now why Python? So why Python? Because it is the language which is improving the productivity in the software development area.
Okay.
This is one of the reasons. Second thing is Python is easy to understand as compared to other programming language also.
Okay.
Why? Because it is a high level language. It is made for the human to understand. It is not made language made for the machine to understand, whereas it is made the language for human to understand. So that's what it is, a high level language. So it is like an English language, you can say.
Okay.
Now, English language human can easily understand. It is not a machine language, right?
Mm. Yeah.
So if I say hello, I say print hello. It's a more English, right?
Yeah.
Right. So like that, you can see that the language is designed here now.
Okay.
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 So now let's say let's play with the now Python interpreter you can play. Let's say you want to do something computation here. In other programming language, the computation is something is very challenging. But that
Okay.
is not the case in the Python. You just do the something like this, and you can see the addition is done. You want to do multiplication, simply you can do the multiplication also. Anything you want to do as a computation, Python is something allowing you to do that thing quickly now,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So here, the computation is something which is very quick in the Python. Not only that, you can have very powerful computation like 2 to the power, thousands, 10,000s, lakh, and that all thing can be done quickly here.
Okay.
So whereas in the C++ Java, if you try something like a thousands or 10,000, it won't support because there is a 32-bit, 64-bit, okay? But here, as here everything is object and it has a dynamic typing, everything is possible here.
Okay.
Got it? So something powerful thing as a in the Python you can see right now, there's no limit of competition here. You can have anything here. You can have into the power thousands, 10,000, and whatever you want.
Okay.
That's the power now, right?
Yeah.
Now, who is the which is the big company who is using the Python now? Now I will tell like worldwide everybody is using the Python. And how? Because I will say one of the biggest company, and I think it's a very famous and known to everybody, that is a Google.
Yeah.
And I know like the IT industry is running just based on the Google now, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So now the Python, so Google is using the Python from beginning itself. So their entire infrastructure development is done using the Python.
Mm.
Who else are using the Python? Like another company or biggest, which is in the software industry, we know is NASA,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
NASA, their entire scientific calculations is done in the Python now.
Okay.
Even I have given the training to the NASA people. Okay, in Ahmedabad also I have given training for ISRO for satellite image processing, and they are using the Python for image processing. So
Okay.
if you look at the application, Python has a several application available. We use for what? We use for even the complex computation. We use for the simple computation also. We do a lot of things. Like I'll tell you like where we use the Python now. As one of the thing I told like Google search engine is developed in the Python. So you can search quickly anything because of the Python now.
Okay.
Okay. Similarly, I want to do testing here. I want to do automation testing. Okay. Python is the preferable language for automation testing also.
Okay.
So previously we were doing the manual testing. Now if you want to write a code, okay, a small code also with the testing, it is possible using the Python. So nowadays most of the industry for mobile testing, for even for the web application testing, we use the Python here,
Okay.
right? Now for example, Selenium. Selenium is written. We have a library of Selenium in the Python. Okay,
Okay.
so this is the way the Python is there. This is the way the Python is used in the industry now, right? Nowadays we use a Python for web application development also, right? For example, Django. If you heard about the fastest framework in the Python is Django here. Okay, so
Okay.
now you will see like what is Django. Django is nothing but the framework written in the Python itself, and this is one of the powerful framework for web application development, right?
Okay.
So this is one of the area where you will see that there's a huge development is going on. Like for example, what is the kind of web application or web portal? Like Amazon is there.
Mm.
Okay, So if you want to develop the application like Amazon, Facebook, or you can say Flipkart, okay, where the commercial transactions are done, Python is the best language for that purpose. Okay. One more industry which is booming right now in the market, like data science.
Okay.
Now, or you can say machine learning, right? Now, like Amazon is using the Python for, data analysis also. They
Okay.
wanted to, let's say, find out let's say they wanted to find out which product to sell to the customer. What they do? They do the data analysis using the Python, and based on that, they actually do the marketing of the product also. So now you can understand like how powerful is a Python, where the company like Amazon, Flipkart, Snapdeal, Facebook, in many of the companies, even the YouTube is developed using the Python and the MySQL.
Okay.
So it is a combination of Python and MySQL now.
Mm.
Where I think we know like how YouTube is a powerful and the kind of video streaming is available in the YouTube. That also we know it very well, right?
Yeah.
So so one can understand the scalability of Python by this company name itself. Now you can see YouTube is a so much scalable, right? Google is so you will not see Google is down for some day. You will not see Google is down for a few minutes also. So you can understand the scalability, stability, right? Security, and the the rapid development which I already said just now. So
Okay.
these are all powerful things which are available in the Python now.
Okay.
Okay. So are you
Okay.
getting what actually the Python, why we should learn Python? Because now you can understand like most of the company, even the Cisco company, their complete network infrastructure development is done in Python now.
Okay.
I'm one of the regular trainer for Cisco company. Cisco there I'm giving the continuously almost I have given training to 200 of the 200 professional just on the Python for automation purpose,
Okay.
right? One of the biggest cloud in the international market also developed in the Python only. The cloud computing here. When it's a cloud computing, again, Python is the Python is a technology which is used for the cloud computing. So which is the cloud developed in the Python and which is the world biggest cloud? It is nothing but the open source cloud written in the Python that is called OpenStack.
Mm.
Okay, that is also one of the big application developed in the Python. Now all the company like Cisco, IBM, HP, Samsung, and like that 200 companies are the part of OpenStack development now. They all are using the Python as OpenStack is completely developed in the Python only. Okay, so here is the future now. Now you can say if you want to develop the future in the open source market, Python is the one of the topmost language for the you can say the open source community.
Okay.
And besides that, even though it is so powerful and has a big library available, almost lakhs of modules are available in the Python now. So
Okay.
Python is like an ocean. You can imagine like how big is a Python. It is not an ordinary technology. It's a huge thing actually. Even you spend 10 years for learning the Python is a race in that case. So that is a capability of Python. That many library is already developed in the Python now. Okay.
Okay.
So I hope you got like how powerful is a Python now.
Yeah.
So what I try to say here, first of all, what is Python? Then
Py-
I try to explain you like
Why
the
Python?
Python features, like it is
Yeah.
a dynamic typing and everything is object and all these things,
Yeah.
right?